You've seen the trend. Now here's what's really going on. Together. Behind the trend. Short stories, big insight. The weight of a split second. The movie in our heads. Hey, let me ask you something. Have you ever practiced a moment in your head? Like 1,000 times? Maybe it's a speech or asking someone out, or if you're an athlete, that one play where the clock hits 0 and you save the day. We all have that movie playing in our minds, right? The script is perfect. You step up, you deliver, and the crowd goes wild. Tyler Loop had that movie playing in his head all season. He's the rookie kicker for the Baltimore Ravens. And honestly, he was waiting for it. The sources tell us he had been hoping for a game-winning attempt all year long. He wanted the pressure. He wanted the glory. And the crazy thing is, he got it. It was practically handed to him on a silver platter. End of the regular season, Sunday night, Pittsburgh. A win means the division title. You literally could not write a better script. But here's the hard truth about life and football. The universe doesn't care about our scripts. Sometimes the dream turns into a nightmare in less than 2 seconds. Today, I don't want to talk about stats or standings. I want to talk about Tyler Loop, the human being, and what happens when the moment you've waited for goes wrong. The setup and the shoes to fill. First off, you have to understand the pressure this kid was under. Imagine getting a new job, but the guy you're replacing is like the greatest of all time at that job. That was Loop. He stepped in to replace Justin Tucker, a legend. And the wild part? Loop was crushing it. Seriously. Before that night in Pittsburgh, he hadn't missed a single kick from under 50 yards all season. He was a 6th-round pick, a rookie, and he was playing like a vet. So fast forward to the end of the game. It's chaos. The Ravens are down by 2. There's less than a minute left. Then Isaiah Likely makes this miracle catch on 4th down. It felt like magic. It felt like, okay, this is it. We're going to win. Get this. Nick Moore, the long snapper, actually said that the specialists were already celebrating on the bench before the drive even ended. Why? Because the Steelers' kicker had just missed an extra point. The door was wide open. Moore said, "We work every single day for that moment." The table was set. The team did their job. All Loop had to do was walk out there and kick a 44-yarder. For him, that should be automatic. A game of millimeters. So, 44 yards. That's the distance. Loop steps up. The snap is good, the hold is good. But have you ever known you made a mistake the exact second you did it? Before the consequences even happened, you just knew? That's what happened to Tyler. He didn't need to watch the ball sail wide right to know he missed. He felt it. He explained it later. And honestly, the detail is heartbreaking. He said, "The second it made contact with my foot, I felt it lower." See, kickers aim for a very specific spot. They talk about hitting the ball on the 4th lace of the cleat. That's the sweet spot. But that night, his foot was just a tiny bit too high or the ball was a tiny bit too low. He hit it thin. Think about hitting a golf ball or a tennis ball wrong. You feel that weird vibration, right? Loop said because he hit it thin, the ball spun really fast and just sliced off to the right. It wasn't a lack of effort. It wasn't that he was scared. It was physics. A few millimeters of difference on his shoe, and the season was over. Just like that. The Ravens lost, 26-24. It sucks. I really appreciate how honest Loop was after the game. He didn't make excuses. He didn't blame the wind or the holder. He just used one word, sucks. He said, "For it to end like that sucks, and I want to do better." It's such a raw, human reaction. He talked about the nature of the job, how making kicks is awesome and missing them, well, it's brutal. But here's the other layer to this story that makes it even heavier. That missed field goal wasn't his only rough moment that night. Earlier in the 4th quarter, the Ravens had just taken the lead. The momentum was huge. And then Loop steps up for the kickoff and kicks it out of bounds. If you watch football, you know that's a big no-no. It gives the other team great field position. And Lamar Jackson? He was frustrated. You could see it. He had been playing his heart out, making these jaw-dropping plays, and mistakes like that hurt. Lamar actually admitted later, "I felt like it was going to come down to Loop to win the game for us, just because of how the game was going." So imagine being Loop. You messed up the kickoff. You have the weight of the division on your shoulders. You have the MVP quarterback counting on you. And then, thud, you hit it thin. You don't walk alone now. This is the part that actually got to me. In sports, when someone fails at the buzzer, the camera zooms in on them. It's lonely. It's isolating. But look at what happened immediately after the miss. Tyler Loop didn't walk off that field alone. John Harbaugh, the head coach, walked right up to him and put his arm around him. He walked him all the way to the locker room. That's a father figure right there. And it wasn't just the coach. When Loop had to face the media, which, by the way, is terrifying after a loss like that, he still wasn't alone. His teammates, Nick Moore and punter Jordan Stout, stood right next to him while he answered questions. They were physically shielding him. They were saying, "Oh, we're in this together." Even Lamar Jackson, who was frustrated earlier, changed his tune after the game. He said, "He's a rookie. It's all good. Just leave it in the past." Inside the locker room, Loop sat there for a long time. He was reading texts from his family telling him to keep his head up. And he did something else. He pulled out a prayer he had written down before the game and just read it. It reminds you that under the helmet, these guys are just people. They're sons, brothers, friends, trying to keep it together when the whole world is watching. The 1-minute rule. So, how do you move on? Seriously, how do you sleep after that? The Ravens talk about this thing called the 1-minute rule. The idea is simple. You have a great play, you celebrate for 1 minute, then you reset. You have a terrible play, you mourn for 1 minute, then you reset. But Tyler Loop is smart enough to know that some wounds take longer to heal. He admitted it. He said, "Obviously this one will be a little bit longer than a minute because it is the last play of the season. It's going to sting for a long time. It's going to be a long off season." But he also said, "It's going to be one of those things that next time I get back out on the field, it's time to move on." And that's the lesson, isn't it? We all hit it thin sometimes. We all mess up the big presentation or say the wrong thing. We all have moments where the script falls apart. But the measure of who we are isn't the miss. It's whether we're willing to walk back out on the field, tee up the ball, and swing again. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Be kind to yourselves this week, all right? I'll catch you in the next one. Behind the Trend. Short stories, big insight.